I believe that you deserve to experience every single level of success your life has to offer. And in this video, I'm going to reveal the number one thing that's likely holding you back. So stay tuned. In a world of guides and gurus, it's never been more important than right now to be even more super careful about what advice you get and how you choose to implement it, which is why we had to do this video. Here's the thing. Every person on this planet wants to live a life they love. At the same time, there are so many different starting points of adversity, learnings, and all kinds of things that ultimately determine what works well in every single circumstance or your past circumstances. For example, Tony Robbins would actually say that you need to eliminate the backup plan or do what he calls burn your boats, if you will. Some would say that you need to be careful about constantly seeking approval. Others would say that maybe you've got to worry about what kind of goals and outcomes you have to have. Yet others would even say that it's a lack of discipline, or by eliminating distractions or self-doubt or belief patterns and so much more. As I've looked back over my life, my entire life of struggle, pain, and persistence, I've actually found a different common theme. I've discovered that each of these things I've already mentioned does play a role, but it's not necessarily getting down to the one thing, the number one thing. In fact, I used to believe, and even say on even this show, that self-awareness was the number one thing. But yet I see people who are pretty far self-aware, on their self-awareness journey, if you will. I still see people struggling deeply, which is why I deeply wanted to connect with the source and try to go all the way back to my very beginning at my lowest point where everything changed. When I retraced my steps, I discovered that my number one thing that actually changed my life forever, my catalyst moment, if you will, was actually at my most darkest moment, my most painful moment, which is when I found myself overlooking an 8-lane highway ready to take my life. So what changed? I had the voices of negativity, I had the voices of self-doubt, I had done everything in my power to become successful, but yet fell short. What I discovered was, in my lowest moments, I had already burned my bridges. In fact, I had sold off everything that I owned. I had already done everything I could think of to improve my life. I had stopped looking for approval and stopped doing comparisons. I had predefined goals. I had worked my ass off and still got nothing in return. Nothing was shaping up. I had gone after everything as my life depended on it. And it turns out it actually did. And yes, I was still struggling with self-doubt, but not enough where I wanted to give up. Not in that moment. Here's the thing. When I drill all the way down to the most common denominator, I discovered there's one thing that prevented me from taking my life, and that one thing has carried me through struggles and successes ever since then. And it came down to 11 words that my personal mentor taught me on the bridge that got me off the bridge. And it's this: this too shall pass, and what comes next will be greater. Now, it's an easy sentence to think about at first, but I want you to take your moment. This too shall pass, and what comes next will be greater. As you take a moment and reflect on that, I want you to consider doing something. Consider subscribing to this channel and smashing that bell so I continue to give you content that hopefully inspires your mind, motivates your heart, and keeps you moving forward to master every area of your life. Now that you've taken the time to like and subscribe, which I appreciate, by the way, I want to get back to the number one thing. So what is the number one takeaway? What is the number one thing that is the catalyst for personal development? Burning your bridges, burning your boats, if you will. What is the number one thing that leads you down that path? We can actually learn that from this too shall pass, and what comes next will be greater. So what is the number one thing? What is the number one thing that is the catalyst? It's very simple. It comes down to a 4-letter word: hope. Whether or not you hope for a brighter future, whether or not you're ready to give up. So when it comes down to the number one thing that holds most people back, thousands of people I've come in contact with, thousands of miles flown and driven to find people that need help. The number one thing they struggle with, the number one thing is reclaiming their hope. In order to reclaim your hope, you have to believe in a brighter day. You can't look at today's events to predict tomorrow's future, which is what most people do when they don't have hope. Without hope, you're not going to try. Without hope, you're not going to read. Without hope, you're not going to watch videos like this to help you move forward. Without hope, you are not going to meet the people you need to meet in order to get the relationships you need as part of your life to bring those things together, to put them together. Without hope, you are not going to grow. And we talk about grow all the time here on this channel. Gain perspective, remove roadblocks, organize a plan, and work your plan. But none of that is possible until you reclaim your hope, until you actually dig deeper and want something more for yourself. So the number one thing The number one thing that's probably holding you back is the limitations you've put on hope. Take the lid off. Put no more ceiling on that whatsoever. From now on, you use your hope as your catapult. You use your belief in what could be to withstand the storm of what is now. You're meant for more. I want to help you get there, but you have to take the chance to reclaim your hope. And I know you can do it. Someone believed in me once, and I believe in you. Keep moving forward. Reclaim your hope. Now, after you reclaim your hope, you got to keep yourself moving forward. So in the meantime, in order to keep you doing that, I want you to do me a favor. Check out this video right here on Massive Breakthrough. That'll help you keep moving forward. Take care.